Now, the face of the opposition in Kenya has been changing over the last few weeks with the entry of the National Super Alliance, NASA, which brings together the major opposition parties and coalitions and is effectively facing out the dominant opposition coalition CORD. NTV's Brenda Wanga has more on this.
Sema mashinani, sema NASA. Nikisema ODM, museme NASA. Mashinani!
In the opposition circles, there is a new rallying call, a call centered around the youngest political outfit in the country, the National Super Alliance. Although in its infancy, it is shaping up to be the vehicle through which the opposition will use to take another go at forming government. The coming of NASA, however, is slowly but surely edging out what has been a dominant opposition entity, the Coalition for the Restoration of Democracy, CORD.
CORD is a coalition that is recognized by law. It gave itself life on the 4th of December, 2012.
Comprising ODM Kenya, ODM and Ford Kenya as equal partners, CORD was crafted and agreements entered into that will define how the coalition would govern if they won the 2013 poll and by extension who would carry the flag for the next general election in 2017. But that was not to be, and now political analysts opine that changes are in the offing.
They have put up a technical team that is supposed to look into their way forward. And I don't think that one of the items on the agenda will be about old agreements. It's about picking up a presidential candidate and a presidential running mate.
The new outfit, fronted by Amani Coalition's Musalia Mudavadi, is seeking to bring together like-minded coalitions and all parties, and has seen most of these parties retreat to their core entities and identities.
The opposition cheese has moved, and it moved the day that Musalia Mudavadi of ANC handed over to the new NASA fraternity the instruments establishing NASA.
This fact is disputed by one of the key players in the coalition, Wiper Party, which insists that until dissolved, CORD exists, and so do the agreements that would have sent the party leader get a decent shot as the opposition flag bearer.
It's an addendum that everybody acknowledges does exist. So therefore, the spirit of that is to ensure that everybody gets a go at the presidency. So in terms of its negotiating prowess, I'm sure Wiper will present that as one of the possible areas to consider.
I don't think that this has got anything like taking into account old treaties and covenants. Those ones cease, and moreover, they are also still looking for new partners to join them.
One thing that both parties agree on is the need for a rebrand that is already underway through NASA.
Transformation and migration, it's a portrait of reconstruction.
Rebranding is always a potent tool of politics.
Although CORD remains a legal entity, the formation of NASA is shaking things up in the opposition corridors, and how this will play into the choice of a presidential candidate and their running mates in the run-up to the August 2017 election is a fact that the jury is still yet to decide on. Brenda Wanga, NTV, Nairobi.
And that story by Brenda Wanga acts as a segue to our discussion this morning, where we're taking a keener look of what is happening in NASA. And we want to also ask you this question. Of course, we want to hear your response as well. As far as the headlining story on the front page of the Daily Nation is concerned, do you think Kalonzo Musyoka is likely to remain in NASA for the long haul? Right. If we may have the question just up momentarily. Do you think Kalonzo Musyoka is likely to remain in NASA for the long haul? Right. You know the drill. You can hit us on Twitter. AM Live NTV is a Twitter handle. AM Live NTV is a profile name on Facebook. And 20505 is our SMS portal. Allow me to introduce our guests who are already here in the studio. I'll begin with Senator Boni Khalwale, who is a senator from Kakamega. Also, we have with us Herman Manyora, who is a resident political analyst here and a lecturer from University of Nairobi. We have with us also Senator Mutahi Kagwe, who is a Nyeri senator from Nyeri County. Also, we have Jacob Midio, who is a member of parliament from Igembe, also and deputy minority leader in the National Assembly. Also, we have Senator Kimani, Wamatangi, who is a senator from Kiambu. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning to you.
Let me just get right to it, first of all, and begin with you, Honorable Mutahi Kagwe, because earlier on, and in fact in this particular program last week, you claimed that the opposition leaders formed the NASA to dupe Wiper Party Kalonzo Musyoka and ensure he never becomes a flag bearer. So looking at the front page of the Daily Nation today, are you surprised at all?
Thank you very much, and good morning, viewers. You will recall, indeed, last week when we were having this discussion, I predicted that the formation of NASA was basically a shift from code, so that code agreements would be shifted, and therefore new agreements would be made. And I said at the time that I believed that Kalonzo was supposedly the one who was supposed to be the flag bearer this time round. And of course, that is a meeting and a discussion. And if you remember that Boni Khalwale, my distinguished friend,
yes,
actually told us that he was going to cook something. You know, he was in the kitchen cooking,
yes,
and ensuring that this thing is going to work. And I agree that Boni has really cooked, you know, and these are the results of the cooking. And I know that he's still cooking. I am aware that he's still cooking. But I actually predict that what the nation has said today is what is going to happen. I don't think that my brother Kalonzo has a choice. I think that if he stays in NASA, his goose is cooked. And one of the things that, my brother Boni has cooked very well is to ensure that his backyard, when it comes to discussions, his backyard has got 6 votes from his backyard. Because in the new NASA, you see there were 3 principals before. Now there are 4 principals before. 2 of them from the same region. Say you select 3 people to represent each person. What does that tell you about the equation? So for sure, I think he's doing the right thing.
All right, so you think still that NASA is a selfish movement orchestrated to make ODM leader Raila Odinga the presidential candidate and lock out Kalonzo?
I don't want to use the word selfish. It's politics.
It's politics.
It's political reality. You know, so selfishness or otherwise is not a word that I'm prepared to use.
All right,
but I will say that political reality is that he's not going to be the flag bearer. You know, and if I were him, I'll do exactly what he's doing.
Okay, flag bearer aside, will he still remain in court? Let us say in NASA.
Let the cook tell us. Okay. He's the one who is cooking.
Hey, chef, tell us then.
You know, listening to Mutahi Kagwe, right from his history at the University of Nairobi, up to the time he was a very distinguished minister, up till recently, he's disappointing a lot of youth because he's one of the few leaders in this country who are on the cutting edge of the ICT world. And this is where a lot of children these days actually converge. That Mutahi has now started perceiving Kenya these days in terms of regions and tribes.
Oh, by no means, by no means.
That now Khalwale is advantaged in the negotiation because I have got more tribal votes. It speaks volumes to what this country should not be. However, as it comes to Kalonzo Musyoka, this is a question bordering on asking me to do crystal ball guessing or be a fortune teller. The factual truth is that as we speak now, Kalonzo Musyoka has emphasized again and again that he is going to remain within the court coalition. I am fully behind him when he emphasizes that even as I remain in the coalition, I want to be the presidential candidate. I would do the same if I was him. And Kalonzo is not short of credentials to be the president of the Republic of Kenya. And therefore, we would like Jubilee, and I don't mean Jubilee, I mean Jubilee, and the opposition. To stop advancing it is a divisive agenda through profiling His Excellency, former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka, as a person who is about to bolt. Kalonzo has been sufficiently insulted about watermelon and the chameleon and what have you. Let us give him a break. This is the decision-making time. And as I said last time, we were cooking. What you saw in Bomas and what you saw at Serena during the press conference was now an attempt by us to now tell people, start washing your hands. Come to the table, the food is about to be served. So why can't you wait? We're about to serve the food we've been cooking.
All right.
We're merely washing our hands.
But while we're biding our time and waiting, still we understand that also Kalonzo Musyoka and Wetangula are reportedly abiding their time, right? While silently mobilizing ranks and resources in preparation for vying for 2017 presidential contest on different tickets.
On resources.
On different tickets.
On resources, let me make this clear. The CORD NASA supporters better push us to start the cooking early, because upon being nominated as flag bearer, it is only when you can firmly and successfully mobilize for resources. We are not like Uhuruto, who have looted Eurobond and NYS, so they have money all
right,
right,
we'll get into that much later. Let's hear from Professor Herman Manyora. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chair. I think the best person will be Jakoya to work on this, but just a preamble. That's a preamble to it. He's more Jakoya is more inside in this Kalonzo and the rest of this Wetangula thing, and the rest of us are from outside. But I don't know whether Kalonzo will bolt or not, because again, like Khalwale, I'm not a fortune teller. But I do know one thing. It is increasingly becoming clear to me that anybody among these gentlemen, there's no woman there, who leaves NASA has no future in politics in this country. The impression and the perception you'll create among the people in the opposition zones is that you are a traitor. If Mudavadi today were to leave NASA, even his own Luya community will see him as a traitor.
He would be dead.
If Kalonzo today left NASA and became whatever else he wanted to become, if he ran as Kalonzo Musyoka, if he got 500,000 votes, if I had money, I would give him a bit of it. He would not get more than 200,000-300,000 votes. And he will be a traitor forever in his life. As we speak today, even Ukambani leaders, some of my friends I've talked to, they have told me, and it's even in the press, they have warned him, you go and you'll go alone. That is a general feeling in the country, which I think a sensible and intelligent leader must be aware of. You cannot walk out of NASA and remain yourself. I think the rest Jakoyo can say.
All right, let's see. Okay, Jakoyo, take it over.
That's political theory.
Take it away.
Is it me?
Yeah.
No, save me from this professor. Because I have no...
Welcome back, by the way.
Because I was missed. But I am back.
Karibu.
Debarl,
Did you get time to say hi to Trump?
yes, I did. Actually, I told him Khalwale supports him.
Okay. You did not tweet. We didn't see your tweets.
No, he does it on my behalf.
Oh, he did? Okay.
I would have jailed you.
But
Stopped him at the airport.
But on serious issues, what the senator from Nyeri is expressing is what you call wishful thinking. Yes. And Boni and Prof have told him what it is. You know, Jubilee is down and going south. To save it, there is this imagination that Kalonzo will disagree so that you lessen the cod, you slice the pie of cod. So that there is this thinking when you talk to people, I play politics as if I was a Nairobi politician. So I talk to so many people on the streets. The thing is, they wish, they say, if we could get Kalonzo, if we could do this, this presidency will be won and lost based on issues. You know, one thing CORD has succeeded in doing, and NASA now, is to get Jubilee to campaign before CORD begins campaigning. And Jubilee is scampering around. Now, what are they telling people? You know, people are dying in Kenya, doctors are on strike, professors are on strike, lecturers are on strike. Jubilee is now hoping for the best, and that best is home. I can tell you for free. If you saw the rally in Bomet,
yes,
what would that tell Kenyans? You know, those people, you know, one thing, I was away and I followed closely, Boni, you know, everybody was talking about the deputy president and his looting spree, and the people were clapping.
All right, we're going to look into that.
That is the vote. That is the vote he showed up in 2013. You know, now look at what he's saying. We are going to ask him. Now he's saying, he's in Mombasa talking about drug dealers, saying how CORD is benefiting. But let me ask you, just a simple question. Didn't Uhuru and Ruto tell Kenyans that no Kenyan will ever be tried in a foreign court again? Didn't they tell us? We are going to ask them very tough questions. And
right.
Kenyans will be on our side because we must stop this country from going south.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Senator Wamatangi, is Jubilee in any way warming up to Kalonzo Musyoka? Have you had any consultation in any way with Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka regarding him joining Jubilee?
Well, why don't we first describe the position of the man right now?
All right.
And, you know, the position of the man, and we have to be realistic. This is a debate that we can only anchor on reality, is that Kalonzo is a man under serious pressure, absolute pressure. And like it or not, the position is as true as this. One, Kalonzo is under pressure from his own people. Remember, Kalonzo backed Kibaki to form the government,
yes,
coalition government. After that, Kalonzo took a stab and supported Raila for the presidency. Now this time, still with his people, he's being asked to come another time to play second fiddle. And his people are telling him, and let me say to my colleagues, Kiambu and Wakambas are neighbors along a very long boundary. We speak, we know. This gentleman is under serious pressure from his own people to look at himself as a man and his self-ambition. Who told you, or who told people, that Kalonzo does not have his own ambitions to become president? I mean, even if his people were quiet, he would be saying, I've supported you twice. And remember, he's also said it live on air all the time. In fact, yesterday, he was one of your news headliners saying that this time Raila, this time Wetangula, this time Musalia, let me be the one to carry the flag for that reason. And thirdly, people have not been looking at it this way, but it's also real. That as we say that Raila's turn this time could be his last bullet, as they have been saying, risasi ya mwisho.
Yeah, I've never said that.
Lenis Kalonzo is not far from that. He has been in leadership for 35 years. He has taken a stab at that time. Who tells you in 2022 Kalonzo is going to be a young man? He will not be. And lastly, as well spoken by his own Secretary General here, Hassan Omar, Senator, they have spoken very clear about the betrayal in CORD. I mean, they feel betrayed. They have a written agreement that we supported Raila. Now this time it's going to be Kalonzo. So this is a guy under serious pressure. Now on the question of have we spoken to him, you know, we have said we have made our house in Jubilee and made it perfectly. And we have laid the rules of the house.
Thank you.
If Kalonzo wants to come in,
yes,
the doors are open.
All right.
He can come in, but he must wash himself of the sins of NASA, the sins of CORD, and come fresh. That's one way we can.
All right, we're going to look at the sins of which sins of NASA and sins of Kanu. We'll look at the sins.
Can I just add once more
yes,
to say, I don't know why we are talking about Kalonzo going here or going there. Nobody has talked about Kalonzo going to Jubilee or Kalonzo going anywhere. Kalonzo has basically said going it alone.
Going it alone.
Going it alone is the issue. It's not a question of going this way or that way. And the point is that I agree with Boni completely. He has got the credentials to run for president. There is no doubt about it. So if he wants to go it alone, that is not related to anything to do with Jubilee or otherwise.
But let's see why he's really a frustrated man. I just listened to him talking from Kisii.
With 8 days to go before the voter registration closes, politicians have gone on an overdrive to convince their supporters to join the vote roll. In Kisii County, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka insisted that the National Super Alliance stood a better chance to beat the Jubilee duo of President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto if their supporters registered diligently. Weekly numbers from the IEBC have shown that the expected targets are yet to be met as voter apathy greets the nation.
Sisi wananasa tunasema one nation, one people. Unaweza kusema hiyo one nation, one nation, ambayo itakuwa na Mkisii na Mkamba na Mjaluo na Mkikuyu na Mbaluya na Mijikenda. Kenya iwe ni inchi moja.
Kalonzo, who was also accompanied by a host of Kisii leaders, declared that he was best suited amongst the NASA leaders to fly their presidential flag in the August elections.
Safari hii nasema kwa rafiki yangu Raila, kuibiwa kura mara mbili, tukiibua ya tatu watu wa Kenya hataelewa. Ngoja Kalonzo amenyane na Uhuru na Ruto na wapeleke nyumbani. Nyinyi mko tayari? Mko tayari? Na kuunganisha Kenya na wahakikisha nikiwa mimi nitabeba bendera ya NASA, hata Uhuru Kenyatta aenda akaingia NASA.
All right.
Wamatangi to have a heart attack. Wamatangi might collapse.
All right.
Yes.
The-
I think I'm compelled to react to Wamatangi and Mutahi. My brothers, who told you in the first place that there are plans to lock out Kalonzo from the flag bearer of NASA? No, Kalonzo might very well, we have not spoken, we have not acted, we're just moving as a team. He might very well be the candidate.
Is that what you're cooking? Tell us. That's what you're cooking.
No,
Kalonzo to be the candidate.
I'll give you time to talk.
Leakage from the kitchen.
The second and last point is, let me take you to the old stories where generally people of age who wanted to marry used to live in a small hut called Isimba. There's this guy who is after a girl, and he has got a very good relationship with the parents and the brothers and sisters of the girl, and hopes that because of that influence of the family on the girl will choose him in preference to his competitor. And then foolishly, at 10 p.m. in the night, in the moonlight, the girl is in the hut of his competitor, and he's standing outside the hut saying, the girl inside that hut is my girl. The girl is taken. In this case, for you who think you are talking to the Kamba people because you have a long border with them, the girl is taken. Kalonzo is gone. Forget about it.
Okay, let's introduce Honorable Mithika Linturi. The girl is mine. Okay, let's hear from Mithika Linturi. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Debarl.
Karibu sana.
I apologize for coming a bit late.
Sawa sawa.
And I must have missed quite a lot, considering or listening to what Boni is saying. So, what is it that you want me to talk about?
We are talking about also leaving NASA to go it alone.
Okay.
It's viable.
Aha.
So it's not viable. And we feel this time.
Kalonzo living in NASA and going it alone.
Yes.
In fact, what I think should happen is that Kalonzo, is a wise man. And I think Kalonzo believes in democracy.
Correct.
And he must be doing what he's doing to enhance democracy and prove democracy exists within NASA. And what he may be thinking about could be completely different from what is being schemed against him by his competitors. In fact...
So there is a scheme?
There must be. In fact, what I think is that, like as Boni was trying to explain how somebody complains about Angao being someone desert, we also have a saying whereby You know, when you put a trap on the pathway of a mouse and then leave it gaping or open, you know, those mice out there may start running themselves into the trap without knowing. So what Kalonzo has actually done here, unless there is divine intervention, Kalonzo has put himself into a serious trap. And even better be listening. Because when you look at the team that is purposely be looking for the NASA candidate, Kalonzo, there is no way Kalonzo can survive. The best way for Kalonzo, and you know, he has made some good history of pitiaring katikati and at least getting something. And this could be the trick, you never know.
Pitiaring katikati.
Yes, you remember in 2007 what he did to his colleague, to his brother Raila, and then ran by himself, and after running by himself, then he got something. You know, he was very powerful because he got the position number 2 in the country, and with only around 14 members of parliament. So what is going to happen here is that Kalonzo, at the end of the day, when he finds it very difficult after the schemes are materialized, Kalonzo most likely will run away. He will run away. He will not. He will not be man enough.
All right.
To really say.
All right. Just a moment. Let's get back to Senator Kagwe, because first of all, if Kalonzo runs away now, will this be, you know, his political career being put on the chopping?
Kalonzo is not running away. Let's running away to where? Kalonzo is running for president. He's running for president. He's not running away. He's running towards power. You know, this is the issue. But I think the point is that let us not underestimate. Let us not underestimate the Honorable the Honorable Kalonzo. Let's not underestimate him, because he is a seasoned politician. We can sit around here and profess and predict and do whatever it is that we are doing. But by the end of the day, he is a seasoned politician who knows what he wants. But he is also a practical politician. And it is not true what my friend Prof said earlier about him being seen as a betrayer to his people if he runs for the presidency or if he joins Jubilee. On the contrary, I think that if he accepts, you know, to run in NASA as just another principal there, I think his people will bolt elsewhere. That's for sure. They will join Jubilee. They will go to Chap or elsewhere, but they will not stick to an outfit called NAFSA, you know, under the guise that there has been democracy in NAFSA, which there isn't.
There hasn't been any democracy there.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you first of all, because you're looking at the character of Kalonzo Musyoka himself, and we have Professor saying he's a betrayer. We were just being corrected.
Just for clarity's sake, what I said was, reading the mood in the country, if you are within the opposition NASA, and for whatever reason, justified or otherwise, you moved out of NASA, the perception that will go out there is that you are a traitor, you are betraying a cause. And let's make this thing clear. NASA, contrary to what my friends thought, is a reality. It is a force. It has the potential to move Jubilee from power. Whether or not it does that depends on how Boni Khalwale and Jacob Midio play this thing.
All right. There is a very interesting editorial cartoon that was drawn yesterday by Victor. Looking at it there, you can see the big trouser where we have the 4 principles there. And of course, the Wiper quintessentially has a Wiper on his head as well. There's someone who's jutting out there. We don't know who that is, right?
That must be Weta. Who is that?
There's someone who's, but look at that. This is a national super dalliance, or dalliance that we can say with NASA, national super dalliance. And this is the dalliance that we can see happening right now. When we see Kalonzo himself expressing frustrations in regard who will be the presidential flag bearer. Because why is he at it? You know, we need to question ourselves. Why is only Kalonzo Musyoka, you know, taking a stab at this? Every other event he goes, he's the one speaking about, oh, Raila, you know, it's your time. Oh, Raila, you know, you are, so to speak, we had, you always lose. And if you lose this time forth, it will be so bad for the citizens.
this country can only have one president at a time. Kalonzo is in NASA. He has just said it. When you said he was expressing his frustrations in Kisii, he said it to Tanasa Wale. I don't know how that is frustrating. Then he said, this time, Raila, umeibiwa mara mbili. Let me be the flag bearer, even Uhuru will join NASA. I think Uhuru will join NASA anyway. But the thing is...
In your dreams.
No, because, I mean, really, he's...
Dream on, dream on.
We have him down. We are not letting go. We have him. We know. We're going to ask him tough questions.
Dreams are valid.
Dream on.
Exactly. But what do you expect Kalonzo to do? Kalonzo is qualified to be president of Kenya. I agree with Honorable Mutahi. But what do people do during nominations? NASA is in the process of trying to nominate a candidate. Eventually, they cannot all be on the ballot. Look at where I just came from. Look at the things Trump used to tell his competitors. They still all, after all the acrimony, said, we are supporting you. Mm-hmm. This is a process of nomination. I mean, it would be foolish and wrong for Kalonzo to be in NASA without an ambition of being president. Why is he a flag bearer? Why is he a torch bearer? He is equal amongst the rest. But I wanted to correct one thing that Wamatangi said. This thing about, we dealt with it here, about a written agreement.
Yes.
Remember we dealt with it?
Yes.
There is none.
What, the MOU?
The MOU was for the last elections. So what he keeps saying confirms what I am saying.
But,
that their wish...
But Kalonzo himself has alluded to that particular MOU.
Well, it was, and it was found not to be true. We dealt with here, and Kimani Wamatangi was here. But let me tell you...
It was found not to be true.
It is them. It is these guys. It is the wish. It's the wishes of these people. You are the one calling him a liar. I have never heard him lie.
I'm asking.
I'm not saying that. I am not saying that. But they wish they could find a scintilla of a window where people in court could disagree. They really hope.
All right.
It is the only thing they have left.
Okay, let's hear from Wamatangi.
You know, Debarl, these guys get humorous every day in their quest to look logical in what they're trying to do and try to fit in. But let me, in answer to that cartoon that you have shown, because I think that's one hell of a humorous satirist. That's the epitome. It's the perfect depiction. Let me just use a simple philosophy. The simple philosophy for us in Jubilee, that you can tell what your competitors are doing by looking at their dustbin. And if you look at what this, meaning that what these guys were doing, for example, in Bomet, you could tell most of it, what they were saying, by what they were not saying. And I'll tell you, if you looked at the game they tried to play, and this is my perception, I'm sure it is Kenyans' perception, that's what we saw beyond what they were trying to say to us. One, ask yourself, why choose Bomet? For a coalition that is just forming, where they have Raila, they have Kalonzo, they have got Musalia, with big strongholds where they could come and launch in Nairobi. Why Bomet? Okay. The play is very simple, very, very simple. They could not even in the first place agree where to go, because if they go to Western, it will look like they're favoring Musalia. If they come to Kibera, it will be saying they're favoring Raila in Kibera. So they have to go to a neutral ground too, and let me say this for their sake. You see, for those guys who play pool, and I'm sure most of them do in COD, because they don't have much work to do in politics. I will tell you, for those guys who play pool, there's a terminology they use that unanifichia hoit. These guys, what they were trying to do in Bomet, ati wanasema ati Raila enda uongee na you are the one now to call Kalonzo. Kalonzo enda uongee, we have no protocol here. Ati sasa wanasema ati wanatufichia hoit, ati they don't want to show who is their flag bearer. Playing simple games, I'll tell you this. Ask yourself, what was Bomet? Was it a lounge? Was Bomet a lounge? And in the minds of the people of God, they know it was an absolute anticlimax. It was a failure. You know, in politics, and this is my last point, you can use this interpretation. You can go to a crowd and talk to them. You hear them clapping the way they were clapping, and they are talking about adulations. There are three forms of laughter if people laugh at what you are saying. One, there is the laughter of recognition. If you go and laugh, people recognize who you are. Secondly, there is the laughter of acknowledgement, because they acknowledge who you are. And thirdly, there is the laughter of ridicule. The laughter of ridicule is when people laugh at you when you make a spectacle of yourself. And what court does not realize is that what they got in Bomet is the laughter of ridicule, because they made themselves a spectacle by playing into small political games that cannot stand anywhere.
Thank you.